Hello, everyone. Welcome to breaking news about Harmony Gold and Big West and their latest big news regarding the settlement regarding the use of the 41 designs from the original Macross series. And Memo, let's start off with you. I think you're more aware of what's happening with this, and you seem to be more versed in it. So before we go, I want to introduce Lancer. Lancer, how are you?
Up, everybody.
Good, good, Memo. And how are you doing? It's been almost a year since we had a show.
Oh, it's been a while, right?
Okay,
It's
perfect.
going good. How you doing? I'm trying to listen to the podcast, see everything's coming out good over here. So
Perfect.
I'm
Okay,
doing fine.
good, good. Well, I want to start off with the recent announcement by Harmony Gold regarding the use of the 41 designs. These 41 designs are they were one of the hindrance that prevented Harmony Gold from using the original source material into future projects and derivatives related to the original Robotech series. Now, with this acknowledgement now by both parties that the 41 designs can be used both by Macross and Harmony Gold, there's also it also impacted the merchandising side. So currently, from my understanding, is that Harmony Gold can now release products into Japan. So they have full use in terms of releasing their merchandising, and also the initial restrictions on Japanese Macross products are now, from my awareness or my understanding of the news releases, that they're able to distribute it worldwide now as well. So Memo, can we confirm from the understanding of what was released that this is what it is indeed happening, and we have both brands, both Macross and Robotech, are now fully international with pretty much no restrictions.
Well, I wasn't paying attention there because I was still spreading the news, and you kind of went to.
Of course, sorry.
I don't know where you left off. First of all, we would like to say that we don't know what this deal entitles. We don't know nothing about this deal. Mav, you know anything about this deal?
From my understanding, Harmony Gold has the full use of the 41 designs that were restricted for them to create derivatives. From my understanding, that's what kind of led to the creation, or sorry, what led to the Sentinels being quite different from the original source material in terms of the use of the characters and even the use of the mecha designs. Um, with this in place, and with the acknowledgement that both Big West and Harmony Gold will share. I'm assuming they both have rights to these 41 designs. If they both share it, do they both have full usage in creating derivative works? For example, we have this live action adaptation of Robotech that Sony currently has the rights to. Does that mean we're going to see an actual VF1 on the screen? It would be I think many fans would love to see something like that come to fruition. Now, from my understanding, if both parties have the use of 41 rights to the 41 designs, does that mean we could send Robotech in Japan as is, as Robotech, into Japan? Even though in Japan there would be confusion of having you say, hey, this is Macross. Like, this is an
Okay, we're coming out good.
interesting this is an interesting situation. I can't believe that we're able to see this actually come into fruition. So, what's your understanding?
Well, first of all, I didn't get much out of it. It just says Harmony Gold and Big West settled their differences. Looks like it,
Yeah.
and it's like that, like in the movie Ghostbusters, mass hysteria, cats and dogs living together, and you just one day you just wake up to the news and it turns everything upside down. We're friends now. What do you call it? Macross fans, Robotech fans. Now we're like, okay, so what does this mean, right? And they throw in the Robotech live action. So both people are looking at it in its own way. Um, what I'm talking about is Big West. They're gonna need to have a say in this movie because the use of the 41 designs going into Japan, if they use the 41 designs, but now it looks like they can. I know Harmony Gold and Big West been duking it out in other countries, fighting for the rights to use what do you call it of those 41 designs. Harmony Gold's been in and about courts, but this deal looks like it's more strong held by Sony. I believe, and remember, this is all speculation here. I believe Sony brought these two guys together, and it was speculated something was going to come since last year because Kevin McKeever had said, wait till next year, 2021. We got another surprise. What bigger surprise can it be than what do you call it, Tatsunoko renewing the rights, right? Why not Tatsunoko and Big West coming together? I mean, both of these teams, Team Japan and Team USA, just kind of shook it like nothing never happened. You know, like it's a new world out there for the anime industry. Now we're gonna see what this deal means. I believe, like I was going, Sony probably had a lot to say. Like Sony knew that the Asian market is pretty big. China, of course, being number one right now, and Japan is not right close behind, right? I mean, they're close behind. U.S. would be the other.
Yeah, they're one of the
attractive.
larger film markets. So
Yeah, and U.S. coming right behind as well. But what do you call it? With all these three markets, it's known that what do you call it? To make a good movie, you need from these three territories. Um, and Sony knows that. Sony already is in Japan. We already talked about a lot about how we could have Carl Mori in the project and come and influence the Veritex and stuff like that. But now even more so with this brand new deal. I'd rather see be it more Robotech than Macross, more Robotech style. But let's wait and see. And Japan is not against Robotech now being in Japan, especially when it comes to the live action. So I think something in this deal, there's an underwriting deal with Sony, and I'm just speculating that, and it has to be. I mean, Sony's the one with the big monies, with the big bucks. They control mostly everything. So it would be helpful with Sony and Funimation. What is it? They own Funimation now. They bought
yes,
Funimation a while.
yes, Sony owns Funimation, and recently Tubi is starting to become really big as an anime platform.
And I think they were trying to take over Crunchyroll, but I think there was a problem with rights there. With what is the word I'm looking for? When you own too much, and something fell through. Whatever
like
the case
like
may
a
be.
monopoly.
Yeah, like a monopoly. So something fell through. But which is good because I like my Japanese the way it is with Crunchyroll. I have Crunchyroll. I don't have Funimation, but if they dub Macross, because Macross, what do you call it? The following chapters could come through. I don't care about Macross 7, by the way. That's one of
I wouldn't
I
mind
don't care
seeing
about
Macross
Macross
7
7
dubbed, but it has to
and
be.
Delta. I don't care about Macross Delta. That's I don't know how the Macross fans feel about it. I just after what's the other one? Frontier. I think
After Frontier was Delta.
yeah, after Frontier, even Frontier, like the last episode that was going somewhere off crazy, and I'm like, oh, come on, man. I just went through Zero. I like Zero. I don't like the ending of Zero. But these girls and dancing around and all that, I'm like, the divas. No, 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 no. But Macross 7, I can't look at it. But I don't know what the plan is for them. Who's going to hold the streaming rights? It's all wait and see. And with Sony and Funimation, I'm guessing that Funimation would have full control of the streaming rights. There's some things that can't come through from Japan. It's stated on both parties. as well with Harmony Gold, with what do you call it, saying anything forward. Both Harmony Gold and Big West are gonna work together on projects. I don't understand that part. That's why I say I gotta wait and see where all this goes. What led it to this? There was too many fights. That's all it is. But Sony coming in, I believe they came in, and it's all about the money. I said it yesterday's podcast. I said anybody will change for the money. You know, you drop a bunch of money in front of their face. Guess what they're gonna do? Yeah, take the house, whatever.
True.
You know, take the car. Here's the keys. You know.
True.
I
have a question for Lancer. Actually, I want Lancer to chime in. Lancer, are you still there? Right.
I'm here, buddy.
Oh, okay. What's your reaction to the news? How do you feel? Like I'm sure you're both a Robotech fan and a Macross fan. Many of us are. Just wondering, do you feel if you were in the shoes of a Macross fan, what do you think would be your feeling, your reaction to this? Do you think it's a good thing for both parties, or do you think one party is going to benefit out of this more than the other? Like, what do you think that will be the impact with this announcement that both parties are going in with the utilization of the 41 designs, and it seems like there's a little bit of an agreement to work together and to cooperate in future projects. So what's your reaction to all this news about this?
Well, that's a lot to unpack there, Mav.
Sorry.
First off, I think Macross fans are going to be happy because we're finally going to get Macross material here in the U.S. I think that's what this is mainly addressing. We're finally going to get Macross Delta and Frontier coming to the U.S. We're going to get all of the previous incarnations of Macross plus 7 and Do You Remember Love? We'll finally Blu-ray copies of these things that are actually the legal version copies that will be sold in the U.S. So I know Macross fans are going to be stoked about that because, you know, some people have other versions. We won't say how. We'll just say they have other versions of these. And to actually get an official version of said materials will be good because then the subs will be even better. The dubs will be even better because you'll have official discs finally that are going to be available. So that's an entire new generation who have maybe only seen these online or have seen these through bootlegs can now see these officially and can own these officially. So that's the first part. The second part, which is the elephant in a room, and I'm looking at you, McKeever, is what is this going to do about the live action movie? And quite honestly, my speculation on that is that now that we're all playing nice and now everyone is happy, maybe within a year, we're finally going to see some movement on this thing and finally start seeing some, talks about, okay, here's the actual director. He's not, or she is not going to disappear 9 months in, and we're going to have to switch it up again, and we're going to have to be talking about all of this again. It's finally put to bed. So now we're finally, because the Robotech Macross feud has been, at least in my opinion, ridiculous. I mean, the whole reason why we love Macross is because of Robotech. Those of us who saw Robotech first, those of you who saw Macross first, I understand the animosity towards Robotech, but let's call a spade, you guys. You wouldn't have the mass fandom that you have of Robotech in the United States, of Macross. You wouldn't have the mass fandom in Macross if it wasn't for Robotech. That's just real. I'm sorry. And I love both. They are both great franchises. They were both done by a spectacular creative team. And I know the stories are different. I understand that and I realize that. And I think on the Robotech side, it finally gives them freedom to finally grow that franchise after a 30-year stagnation. And it's also going to give Macross fans a new injection of even more fans because now your material can be sold over here. So, I mean, and that's a win-win. You're only going to get more fans. More people are going to be into RT. More people are going to be into Macross. And that's just a win-win for both franchises. And I have friends who love both or one exclusively. I'm looking at you. I'll just use your initials, KS. You know, I mean, I got nothing but love for my Macross fans. And, you know, because I also love Macross. I mean, Delta, amazing. You know, Frontier, amazing. I mean, I would love to see that same love, you know, with Robotech. Have a new reboot, you know, just have I would love to see a reboot. That would be awesome. Seeing an animated reboot of Robotech with current tech and current animation, you know, using an actual F-14, even more incorporating the 41 designs to create a Veritech. You know, have a new design for an Alpha fighter based on the F-22. I mean, can you see that? See the F-22 Raptor being converted into an Alpha fighter? That would just be fracking awesome. And then use the A-10 Warthog and use that as a Logan. That would already make the Logan like 103 times, 1,000 times better than the VTPOS that I call the
Now,
Logan.
here's the interesting thing, and I want both of you to decide on this. Macross is the first step in terms of Harmony Gold. I'm assuming they're going to use the 41 designs and use it as a basis for the live action movie, so that way there's some sort of you don't want to disappoint the fans in terms of not having homages that like designs that pay homages to the original source material. So I'm thinking by having the 41 designs, Harmony Gold will have the right to create derivatives that are similar to the original without impedance by Big West. So if that's the case, the only thing that, for example, we know that if they do a live action Robotech saga based on the Macross saga, maybe they're going to call it Robotech the Macross saga. And if they do a second movie, or say the first trilogy is based on the Macross saga, when they do the Southern Cross, well, we know one thing: does Harmony Gold have the rights to the original designs of Southern Chevy Southern Cross, Super Dimensional Southern Chevy Southern Cross? Do they? No, they don't. But who controls that? Big West. So maybe the next step would be, well, if the first movie or the first trilogy of movies end up being a success, then they're going to follow on with a Southern Cross next saga, which would be Southern Cross. Then maybe they want to do something similar. Maybe they want to bring back the hover tank. Maybe they want to bring back the Ajax and all the other vehicles and designs that are inspired from Southern Cross, because you never know how big this will become. And if they want to still use the same kind of way of paying homage, so that way they can still keep the core fandom while expanding into the new universe. Maybe that'll be the next step, because you never know. This might end up bringing back Southern Cross into Japan. Maybe Big West will decide, well, let's create a derivative based on the original Southern Cross, Super Dimensional Southern Cross, because it seems like it's getting popular worldwide because Robotech's in Japan now. Same thing with Mospeada. Mospeada might get a reboot in Japan because of the exposure of Robotech going back in Japan. Like, this is opening up the whole can of
according to
worms now.
what they said on the Mav, according to what they said in wording, was only the live action is not being impeded going into Japan. They didn't say nothing about. Well, they said that's about the only thing that's going to be allowed. I don't know about the original Robotech storyline.
But this comes down to money, correct?
Correct. I mean, I'm not saying they can't do it. It's just like Big West and Harmony Gold put out there. We're going to work together in the future and both future projects
Yes.
of where Harmony Gold will go with new animation, like you say. In other words, Big West, all they have to do is just get paid and move in the direction that Harmony Gold wants to move, which I think is going to be Sony. Sony picked up all the rights to almost all the IP rights from Harmony Gold.
No.
What they said, everything is going through everything's going through Sony and Funimation right now. They can't get no permission from the to do anything without them on board.
True. But this is strictly
So
on the 41 designs of Macross. But say once that works its way out, and say Robotech is still profitable, they have two other animes. They have Mospeada and Southern Cross that they could utilize to create more
exactly, but
derivatives.
here's the thing. Here's what I'm worried about. Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah.
That was a shitty ass movie. If Sony comes out with Robotech and being shitty as you think it's shitty would be, they would drop that thing in a heartbeat. I mean, they have to get it on the get go. They have to get Robotech out there the way we want it to look, the way we want it to feel, Robotech. Because in comparison, Macross would be the only ones winning in this deal of the end because they already have production out there. They already have animation out there. They already got tons of stuff out there that's about to come on over or is already coming over, a crossover. Harmony Gold, all they got is comics. I mean, there's nothing much out there. It's not a lot per story. Shadow Chronicles, when was that? You know,
That was
um,
2006.
yeah. So that's a long time to
Yes.
just do what? Nothing. Yeah. So
Well, what in regards to
so
Harmony
as long
Gold
as
has
so I'm
released the
thinking as long
novels
as the
in
live
digital
action,
form. They have released the
yeah,
novels in
but
digital form.
as long, yeah, but is that huge? No, not really. Not necessarily. When you're thinking about Delta, Macross Frontier, all this stuff that's going to be coming out, it's all you don't even need to produce. Harmony Gold doesn't do that much since 2006,
No, no,
and
they've
everything is
done.
riding on, like you said, on
They did
Sony.
Love Live Alive. Love
They
Live
didn't do much
Alive.
other than
Or
put
Love
it out.
Love
It was
Live
already
Alive.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the fans were like, whatever. There wasn't something big out there. People want continuation. They want the story, the Rick Hunter story. That's what the fans want. So that's why I'm saying the live action has to come out and be this big thing, and a lot of stuff come right behind it, which would call the animation that you think everything that you believe is going to come out. You know,
There's
so
also
it's going
there's
to be a
also
lot
one
riding on.
there's also one
Go
more
ahead.
thing that is the elephant in the room also, and that is uh, fans, the fandom. I'm talking about both Robotech and Macross. I know they want to see at least the majority, I would say 55%. Okay, because there's still some who say no. But I would say a majority of the fans do want to see a live action something in the Macross realm. And now that this agreement is finally done, I mean, there's a reason why Japan hasn't done a live action Macross. There's a reason for that. And now that this agreement has been made, you know, I think now we are finally going to see that in some form. Now, whether it is a live action Macross movie, and I'm talking about with the Macross storyline, or if it's a live action Robotech movie of the Macross saga that is US,
Yeah,
you know, one or the other or both are going to be made now that this agreement has been made, because now you can distribute it in both of those countries and there won't be any pushback from it. That's all this agreement is saying now. That took out the big, huge elephant out of the room. It took it out with a howitzer. So now, whether or not someone is finally going to pen it, direct it, produce it, put the money behind it that will make it a blockbuster, I have no idea. I mean, none of us.
I have a funny feeling I know who it's going to be.
And I mean, I know who I would want behind it. I know who I would want behind the scenes. We've talked about it ad nauseum. But the big thing is that now the slate has been cleared, that we can now see either a live action Macross movie that is Japanese made, or a live action Robotech movie, Macross Saga, that is American made. And they are two different stories. They have the same mecha, But now that mecha can be used in both of those, or I should say in this country, and it's not going to be poo-pooed on by the other country. So now it's like, okay, cool. Here it is. We have our cake. Now we got to bake the damn thing. So who's going to bake it? I have no idea. And I know we've
How
talked.
good it's gonna be too.
You're right. And I know there are some people who are like, no, we should never see this live action. And I understand that. I mean, I get it. Don't mess with my childhood. At the same time, I would love to see something live action because let's face it, look at the MCU and the Disney Plus of the MCU. It's beautiful. When you have someone who knows about the mythology, knows about the lore, it stays and uses the actual material that is there to create a great story and have a great cast and knows what they're doing, you can make some incredible things. That can be done with Macross or Robotech or both. That is possible. You just have to have the right team. Is Sony that right team? I don't know. I honestly don't know. But Pacific Rim was good. We won't talk about the other ones.
What about Alita?
Alita was beautiful.
Attila. Yes.
The Netflix, if you guys have seen the Netflix Pacific Rim.
Yes. What's it called?
Yeah,
Pacific Rim Black?
That was pretty good too.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
That was good.
So it's possible to do something good. But track record also speaks that it's 6 to 5 pick 'em that it can be horrible.
That's what I'm worried about.
That's what a lot of people are worried about, and that's why a lot of people will say no to a live action movie. But now we've finally got the slate clean. Now we've broken ground, as they say. They cleared off the old stuff. They broke ground. Now we can build something on top of this. And I hope within the next year or so, either HG or Sony or whoever the powers that be will say, all right, we are definitively now greenlit for either Robotech movie, Macross movie, or Robotech, the Macross Saga, whatever it's going to be called. We are greenlit in Hollywood. Here is our director. Here's our script. Here's our production crew. And, oh, by the way, here is blah, blah, blah as Captain Global. And then the whole world will start calling.
Rick Hunter. I think it'll be the first Rick Hunter announcement probably after the director. And
are we going to speculation territory now?
No, like I said, this is just speculation is within a year. After all.
Oh, we could start now.
We could, but that could take another video, and I know some will leave soon. So.
Yeah, well, I could see them starting sooner than later because look at Godzilla. I mean, how it was going to deal with COVID. Godzilla did pretty well in China, did pretty well everywhere. Not the big gangbusters at pre-COVID, but now it did pretty good, and it's probably have to wake up a lot of these studios and say, oh damn, we gotta get a foot in these movies, and start putting out movies because I'm ready to go see Mortal Kombat in 2 weeks, and I'm going to the theater, by the way, guys. I'm going to the theater, and when I went and saw King Kong versus Godzilla, or Mecha Godzilla, Godzilla.
King Kong versus Godzilla.
Were there.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of kids were there. It was pretty cool. I said, wow, this place is packed. I mean, here's a change. Here's the opportunity. And then you hear how much money King Kong versus Godzilla made. It was a little corny. I saw the original 79 just recently, just to get ready for it. And I'm like, man, Mechagodzilla just didn't come out looking good like in the movie. In the movie, he was battling all the way through from beginning to end. This one, he just came out at the end, and that was it. What? He's dead? No more? Nothing? But what do you call it? People Hollywood has to see what Godzilla and King Kong just did and say, damn, we got to get it in there. And I hope Sony sees that. Not to rush it. I'm not saying rush it, but put all the elements together, the powers to be, like Brian says. And I'm looking even more of a chance to see Kawamori maybe come in as a designer. What do you call those?
Conceptual designer?
No, consultant.
Yeah, but
Consultant.
somebody you bring in for to consult. Well, he could be the designer and
Like
all,
the
but
art designer or art director.
exactly, something that has
To
a
create
little
the
bit more
world.
feel to the Macross that we
Yeah.
like, to the robots we like. And I could see him having a better chance now than last time when I think something happened that he put out that one tweet and he just didn't what do you call it, wasn't good. But now he put a good tweet as like, okay, I'm ready to go in there and help out. And I hope he does. I hope he does.
I would love
I mean,
to see
the guy from behind Autobots, you know, Optimus Prime and all those characters. I mean, for him to come here and do the mecha, it'd be awesome.
Would you say that this is more of a way of creating a collaboration like they do with the Godzilla franchise to bring both countries involved in a collaborative filmmaking endeavor? Because I think this would be an excellent opportunity. It shouldn't be just Godzilla where they, it goes both ways between Japan and the rest of the world. It could be also Robotech
And
Macross.
King
I
Kong.
think it's a good excellent opportunity for that to happen.
I believe so. I'm hoping it does because what do you call it? Now you have everybody looking at this like, okay, what does this mean? You know, like what the hell? What's going on? You know, when did I wake up in a different timeline where Big West and How Many Gold are hand in hands? You know, and it feels like a different timeline. It's taking a lot to get in because you were either on one side or the other. Or you had friends that were only one side, and you had friends only on the other side. And now you're like, hey man, you know, we could get along now. You know, there's no fighting no more. There shouldn't be no fighting. And not only that, all the toys that I couldn't buy because it's very expensive, I'm hoping they come down in price.
Well, I don't know. I
I'm
don't know if
hoping
things
this
are going to
deal
come down
does
in price or not.
allow not only the animation but also the products to come through. But what I'm thinking is, yeah, you buy it mostly through third parties and all that, but hopefully there's a lot more stuff of it where, hey, I could start building model kits. I love model kits, and Japan has the best model kits on any level. The last model kit I seen here was the Palladium model kit, which was what do you call it, RPG, which sucked. I didn't even know why they went that way. But what do you call it? I don't mind getting those besides the Gundams that I have and start modeling. You know, yeah, there is a big prize. You could get them for a bigger price, but at the same time, I'm like, why I'm gonna kill myself over that? But now it's a bigger chance of I might pack my room with model kits and stuff like that. So it's hopefully some of that stuff does come over. A lot of the Japanese books that we couldn't get, yeah, you could get them, but they're in Japanese. Like, all right, I got the Macross memory or whatever, and they start flipping the pages. Like, okay, I'm done. I can't read this shit. You know. Hopefully they have translation as well now, like good translation. Get some fans, like good fans out there that know the stuff and know how to translate and put it together and say and sell it out here in English. You know, Spanish. Why not? You know, and start collecting. So I'm seeing a bright future, but how soon will it happen? How forward thinking are they thinking? I know just to announce, Kevin McKeever has a show tomorrow. I don't know what it's going to be about. I'll be listening in to see what clues we're going to get. But a lot of that stuff that Japan has could actually be worked into more art books, Robotech art books, more line arts and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know how much they got from Tatsunoko, but there's a lot of possibilities through that, or the Japanese books themselves, you know, and start your collection again. You know, it's accepting both what do you call it, both IPs from Robotech and Macross and go with it. Other than Macross 7, all right. So you guys don't fuck me with that one. But I just like Macross Plus I don't like the original Macross. I'm sorry, I just don't. I tried it. It wasn't my cup of tea. But Macross Plus, Macross 2, I thought it was the best thing ever. And I know a lot of people don't like it, but I do love it. Macross Zero, oh man, animation on that one was superb. Just the story in the end. But if those things were dubbed, and then the prices come down on the imports, then I could see things happening for both fandoms.
I think what I would like to see is a full release of all the Macross franchise features released on all the streaming platforms available worldwide as a way to push both Robotech and Macross together so that there's at least some sort of recognition of this franchise before the live action movie comes out. Because I think by bringing awareness that Robotech is based on Macross and using the original source material, plus Macross itself is associated with Robotech indirectly, having both brands working out worldwide on all the different streaming platforms would help to bring a little bit of optics to both brands internationally, and I think that would help the live action movie, and that would also help push whatever future projects Big West has for the Macross brand globally as well. Because right now we're venturing a new territory for both brands, because this is basically opening up everything for both of them together on a
It's money.
collaborative basis, and we got to get that pushed
It's
out there.
Yeah, it's money. It's Sony, and Sony through Harmony Gold. Sony, we already know that Sony is controlling all that stuff, and they have already told Harmony Gold, go push out Robotech, go out there and make stuff, do stuff, get the brand going, get the name going. With Macross coming across like that, it doubles what Harmony Gold is going to be doing. So yes, and what you're saying, we're going to see more branding out there than we ever thought. I mean, a lot more of a push, and is going to help Sony in such a way when the live action movie is going to be ticket sales. It's just I hope that when people go see it or whoever goes test to see it, they don't come back and say it's a balls. Like I'm thinking Wonder Woman 84 for the last one that I could think. I like the first Wonder Woman. And Justice League, Justice League was the nastiest thing I ever saw until
The
the
Snyder edition. That was good.
I wish they would release it in movie theaters, because I would have gone to the movie theater, paid my ticket, paid my $10. I don't know how much it costs over there with you guys. It costs $10 over here since COVID, but I paid my $10, sat down for 2 hours, watched the first part, then watched the second part, and a week later, pay another $10. But streaming, it took me all day. That was a lot.
Yeah.
I can't sit for 4 hours. But what I'm getting at, to get it right the right way, get the right people in there, on the get-go, get people involved that know both Macross and Robotech, and well, Carl Masick passed away, but
There is
to
one
see
person I would
Carl,
like to direct for both.
yeah, and he was talking about it that he knew both sides. It's all
Yes.
on the art books, guys. But like you say, that possibility for Robotech to expand with Funimation in there, and they could control the animation and stuff like that. Let's see what happens. If anything, like Brian said, you have at least a year. I go with Lancer. What Lancer said, I give them a year before they start production. But in that year, I expect to see the rollout right away. I mean, this deal was happening since last year. It didn't just happen right now. It happened since last year, and Harmony Gold was tight about it.
Well,
Everybody was tight
McKeever
about it.
did state that there was something big coming.
Wait till
That's all he could
next
say.
year. Yeah, he said it last year.
And he was right. He was right.
He dropped the bomb. He dropped the bomb on the Tatsunoko renewal at Anime Expo when I was there, and I was like, damn. And this just, I don't know, man. This is down to the soul, down to the Macross and Robotech fans. So I was like, what am I supposed to do now? Just get along with these guys, like Brian says, Lancer says, we all know friends, but it's just a little bit more friends, I guess. But
okay, so now we've basically been talking about the impact of this major news on what's going to impact on the live action movie. But now we should discuss about what this is going to do in terms of future productions, like future projects based on derivatives of the original 41. Now, do you
Well,
think what direction do you think Harmony Gold's going to take? Because they Harmony Gold has been basically promising Shadow Rising and future projects involving that's related to Shadow
what's
Chronicles.
the one project they want to
Robotech
finish?
Academy.
Start and finish? Academy.
Yes.
Robotech Academy, I think, is probably their first project, but I think they should, like you said, they should go like the Disney way, the MCU on how they're doing with the Mighty Ducks. Now they're looking at Cobra Kai and saying, look at Cobra Kai on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
Cobra Kai on Netflix. Let's do that with Mighty Ducks. I'm watching the season, so it would be kind of like the fourth movie. I think there were 3 Mighty Ducks, and now there's a series that I'm watching. And it took a little bit to get used to it, to try to remember the old Mighty Ducks when I took my kids, and now it's like, oh, I'm into it now. You got Star Wars. I had to go back to see what do you call it? I didn't like the Clone Wars, but I went back to see it just to get the idea of Mandalorian and all that other stuff. They're starting with a Bad Batch. In other words, it's expanding. MCU, you had I didn't like WandaVision. It was too crazy in the beginning. I didn't get it, but it started getting better, and now you have Winter Soldier.
Now,
Winter Soldier ending.
do you feel that both the Macross brand and Robotech will follow a
Yes,
similar manner?
They could coexist together
Mm-hmm.
in a streaming way with Funimation, Sony, Funimation. I hope Funimation has the option of doing live,
Well,
like
this is what I
Mandalorian.
think is key. I think when you're gonna see all the Macross products that have been produced, I mean both the movies and TV series, I think they'll be remade with new dubs, but keeping the
You beat me to it.
keeping some of the stuff originally in subs. And I think it's going to be
I
fully
just
released on Funimation as a platform first. And I think that's going to sell Funimation huge because I could see
I
it.
would I would get it to support the Macross brand because
Yes.
I like a lot of the stuff, but I do not like I said, Macross 7. I'll just, but
But
I would
I
buy
think it's all going to
Funimation.
go on. I think all of it's going to go, including 7. Will all go, and I think they're going to have new dubs, English translation dubs, and it's going to go. It's going to be only exclusive to Funimation because Sony owns it, and that would be
Yeah,
amazing. Imagine you could finally get a dub of Macross 7, a dub of Macross Delta, a dub of Macross Zero, like all that dubbed with like the best that they could get for voice acting from North America, like worldwide, because they could do a Spanish dub too, official. They could do all that. Imagine,
and I'm thinking
imagine the
with the movie
exposure
coming out,
Macross is going to get from this, and vice versa.
and that's the thing. They need that exposure starting right now, going in quick. So, like I was going back to saying, they were planning this from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
They had the deal made back in March. So they've been planning this since last year. Had the deal in March. They announced it this year. What do you call it? Finally, everybody got their eggs in one basket and figured for both brands and Sony movie to make a good straightaway, start their platform. I mean, television platform is becoming big. With, like I said, I got Disney Plus. My kids, they got Amazon Prime. I got Netflix for all the shows and all the Asian what do you call it, movies that I want to see. But if they jump into that platform for animation and live action movie, live action series, having both Macross and Robotech, and the way Big West and Harmony Gold worded it out, they're going to be collaborating for the future stuff. I'm like, yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good times.
Now, Lancer, what's your thoughts on future derivatives and bringing back the Macross brand into North America? Like, do you think they should bring the Mac as what we discussed with the dubs and subs being both available on the Funimation platform? Do you think this is their end game, is to get this out to start building up the hype for the live action movie and to help promote both brands so that way they both build each other up? Like, what's your thoughts on this, Lancer?
It would not surprise me that they create a, if they call it Funimation Plus or Funimation uh, whatever streaming service, it would not surprise me if they started doing that, like for $5 a month or something like that, and then get all of the, you know, brands that are on Funimation, because Funimation goes back to, you know, late 80s, early 90s with Guyver and Gundam and Gunbuster and, you know, all that stuff going on, Bubblegum Crisis. So I mean, they got all kinds of titles that they can now stream if they decided to go that route. And if they did, and they brought over, you know, as their tent pole, you know, they bring over Macross and all of its incarnations subtitled, you know, it would be awesome, because that would be the selling point. People would want to go and see that in America, all of the shows that they couldn't watch because they don't have a Crunchyroll account.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. They want to compete because Crunchyroll has their stuff and there are things that are linked to them. But those of us who've been watching anime since the 80s, you know, we remember the old school stuff. You know, and we'd love to see that again, but we can't get it because of XYZ reasons. I think if they did launch a streaming service, Sony, which wouldn't surprise me, you know, call it, you know, Sony Plus or Sony Digital, or, you know, whatever they call it, and do it for $5 a month, and then it's just nothing but old school anime, and then they say, but our tentpole is featuring Macross or featuring Robotech, the original 85, just, you know, and they clean it up. You'll finally see the digital remastered of it with the original, you know, sounds and stuff. And then they bring that out. So they say, okay, here's Robotech in its new official home. Here is Macross in its new official home in the United States. That's how they'll market it if they're going to do that. And then that way you get all the Japanese fans of Macross and the American fans of Macross saying, oh God, dude, we got to get this now. Even though, you know, yes, there are other ways we can get it.
We could follow the Bandai method. The Bandai method was when they first released Gundam worldwide outside of Japan, specifically North America. I think that was on Toonami. What was the first official released Gundam series that they released on Toonami?
Wasn't it Gundam Wing?
Yes, because at the time,
Yes.
Gundam Wing was the newest one that was recently released in Japan, and they decided to expose all of Gundam by putting what was the latest, and at the time, you gotta admit, Gundam Wing was the greatest. So I was thinking, if you're gonna market to North America and the outside world the whole Macross brand officially, the best way to do it is, what's the best recent Macross property right now? I think, to me, it wouldn't be Delta. It would be Frontier.
Frontier.
I would do a
Frontier.
full English translation for both dubs and subs, and release it exclusive worldwide through Sony, whatever streaming platform they develop. Frontier entirely, including the movies, to expose all of Macross and help hype Robotech. If you start with just Frontier slowly, just start with Frontier. Start with a big bang. You know how many fans would go nuts with a full English dub with the best voice actors that they could get in the industry to work on that show? Sony would make a killing just on the release as an exclusive release of this streaming platform, with having something like a tentpole like Frontier.
I get you on that, but reinvent the wheel. You already got a great series.
Yeah, they do.
But you can if they let's say they did do Frontier, why reinvent the wheel and make it an English dub? Just keep it Japanese. Do like they did with Dragon Ball Super.
True.
Which is a weekly, you know, thing that came out. We watch Frontier. You get it once a week, and you know you just go from there. And then at the same time, you slowly trickle out all of the rest of the incarnations of Macross, and you know, then you bring in Robotech, And that way you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to pay new money. You just now distribute that into the United States. And there's a lot of people in the US who might not have seen Frontier or Delta because they just haven't been able to find it.
True.
And it
But
is
you do have the fandom. You do have fans that they only watch dubs. You do have anime fans that only watch
oh
dubs
yes,
because
you're right.
it's
You're
just
right.
the way their head is wired. They just can't follow
Right.
subs, right?
I understand that, but let's face it though, there are more people who watch the subs than the dub.
And don't forget the
Mm,
possibility of Blu-ray collaboration to make the best Blu-rays out there. A
yes.
lot of
Exactly.
people want the Blu-rays. I already got my stuff, but
Exactly. So, I mean, with this new agreement, those Blu-rays can now be available. If you do your streaming service, then you can stream it as well, and make money that way. You can dip into both pots because there's going to be people who are not going to buy the Blu-rays, but they can watch it online
Yes.
finally and watch it in clear, crystal clear streaming. So, and yes, I understand that there's people who are wired that have to see a dubbed version of something, but you know, if I'm sorry, people who watch Naruto, for an example, on Netflix, I bet you dollars to donuts, 8 out of 10 of them are watching it in Japanese, because I'm sorry, you don't see Naruto fans running around going "believe it" because I'd smack him in the head. So, and those of you who have watched Naruto, you know what I'm talking about. You never say that because we will smack you in the face if you say Shadow Clone Jutsu versus Kagebushin Dojutsu. If you don't, if you then you know what I'm talking about. Okay, you can butcher my Japanese later, but you know what I'm talking about. So
Okay.
we're gonna
Well,
watch
sorry.
subtitles
Go
than
ahead.
there are the dubs.
Yeah. Um. Okay. So in regards to let's talk about merchandise now. And is there anything you're looking forward to out of Japan you want to get officially released now, like the giant scale SDF one?
Dang, Skippy, I want my STF one. I've always wanted my STF one.
Imagine that being sold at Walmart. Official releases, all like Macross products and Robotech side by side. Imagine that.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah. So I mean, I would love to see an official. Some of the Valkyries that are coming out that are in Japan exclusively come out to the US and have it be sold. That would be quite nice. I would like to see an actual good version of a Cyclone, a Mospita bike. I would love to see that finally
Well,
out
the
here.
reason why is because usually a lot of these feature films when they come out before they come out with a advertising blitz through merchandising, and they usually do a lot of exclusives through big box retailers like Walmart. And I think we're gonna see something like that happen before the live action movie comes out. So I'm thinking maybe there's gonna be something official now before the movie comes out. There's gonna be if Robotech starts having products related to the movie going to these big box stores, why not Macross products as well? Like I could see that. I could see that. Because it might be like, well, here's the Robotech new Valkyrie for the live action movie, but we have the original one that's Macross that it's based on. Imagine that at Walmart. Like I want to ask any questions from the chat viewers about what we're discussing. Like, do you have any questions you want to ask us about like merchandising, live action? Like, go ahead, ask us questions, and we'll do our best to answer the questions. Because this is like we're we're talking about things like these are key points that's going to be related to the future of both brands, both franchises. What do you think? Do you think this is the right direction? Those
um,
41 designs, it's amazing how key they are for both these brands. It's amazing. They're actually working together and collaborating. Wow. Think about it.
yeah, I can see a lot of that stuff already coming to stores, Target, name a store, Walmart especially. Walmart is worldwide too.
Yes.
So whatever they sell over here, sometimes what I can't find here, I find it in Mexico when I go to Mexico City. They have a Walmart right there. I go to Walmart and boom, I'm like, damn, you got the toys here? I'm taking it, you know. But I could see them, what do you call it? A lot of the products going through Walmart or Target and being more exposed out there, and cost hopefully it's a little bit less. For me, I don't know what I'm gonna do with a lot of that because I already collect Transformers, uh, GI Joes, and whatnot from the old '80s. So I'm like, man, I'm really running out of room of trying to put stuff in here. The only thing I would really buy would be the model kits. The model kits, maybe one or two toys. The only ones they might be losing here would be that middle dealer, unless they're hard to find type of toys. You know, now you're gonna have to worry about getting that nostalgic toy that you always wanted, but you know, now you gotta have to really find that one. That's where the money's gonna be at, is the value on nostalgic things. But anything else, you know, and with the power of 3D printing, you can make a lot of accessories for said
Hey, here's a
toys. You
question
know,
from the chat. Gene states that Hasbro still owns the Veritech design. And Lancer says, Gene, do they? Well, I don't know. If Harmony Gold has full rights to use of the 41 designs, does it mean that they also have the merchandising rights to them?
wait, Hasbro has a what?
Gene says Hasbro still owns the Veritech design, the VF1. I'm assuming it's the VF1 because they use it for
The
Jetfire.
VF1? They never did. They
Okay.
never did. I mean, Big West and Harmony Gold have been in those lawsuits for a while.
The
I mean,
jet.
we found out with the
about.
Tatsunoko. Huh?
The
We're talking
Jetfire.
about the Jetfire. The original
Oh,
Jetfire was the
yeah, because
toy variant.
according to the Tatsunoko versus Harmony Gold, it was said there that Big West was much involved with a lot of the stuff that had to do with lawsuits with their property. Harmony Gold has to go out there and protect that property. So there's no such thing as Jetfire. You're talking about the old Jetfire look, not the toy. The old Jetfire look is, yeah, it's Hasbro's. What do you call it? But the Veritech is still Big West Harmony Gold right now, which is the Veritech transformable. What do you call it? The Red Fighter of Rick Hunter, or
VF1J.
what's his name in Japanese?
Hikaru.
Hikaru
Yeah,
Ichi.
Hikaru.
Ichiro.
Yeah.
Hikaru. Ichiro.
Another losing one is the BattleTech people. You know, the
That was
BattleTech guys kept
the
saying that
Wasp,
Harmony Gold
wasn't
never
it?
had the rights.
In
Huh?
In BattleTech it was the Wasp, I believe.
Yeah. So, or BattleTech. Yeah.
The BattleTech.
They in their court fight, they kept saying that Harmony Gold didn't have the rights. What just happened throws it out the window.
Yeah, they were called the unseen mechs from the
Yeah.
old BattleTech FASA BattleTech guidebook.
Yeah.
The
So it's
unseen.
going to be a lot of changes, a lot of future to see. What I just want to see is more. There is Macross out there, but I want to see more Robotech. And this helps out Macross as well, because now all the future production that Japan makes is going to be streaming in through Funimation, could possibly be streaming through Funimation. You know, and I could see it happening. You know, all right, let's start getting to work. Kawamori. So I don't even know what after when Delta came out, that was it. I just called it quits. I don't know if they're gonna plan any series after that, any movies after that. But I could see it streaming in theaters as well, like special theater events. I would go to those, not for Delta or Macross 7, but I'd go for Funimation. I mean, Frontier. You know, they show a movie cut version. I think there's a movie cut version. Show a movie cut version. I would go for that one in a theater. I mean, my daughter just bought tickets for Demon Slayer showing at the movie theater.
Yes, Phoenix
The
Hawk.
movie.
Sorry, I'm just reading up
Oh,
on
so you're
chat.
into that one too.
Yeah.
So I can
There's a question
see.
by Gene. Says HG lost the lawsuit on the design back in the 1980s and had to pay up and started to sell that non-transforming version. But how would that explain the Masterpiece set, the Masterpiece VF1? Because that's fully
Wait, what
transformable.
was the question?
Yeah. Anyway, Memo. Is there anything else you want to discuss regarding any news items regarding the what we just heard? I guess it was yesterday.
Oh,
Any
okay.
thoughts about the future?
Uh, it's so wait and see. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna go to Kevin McKeever's uh, channel tomorrow and see what hints he might give of what's the future.
Hmm.
He might not give nothing. He might just be talking about other things. But let's see if he lets out anything. Um, live action until there's a director announced, and it's not going to come through Harmony Gold. I believe that's going to be rumored. There's a director walking into Sony for a position and stuff like that. I'll be keeping an eye on that. So I got to refresh all my browsers on that or searches. Um, I just hope there's this new stuff comes out. People pick it up, look at it, and then there's good toys out there. You know, good toys. Everybody's gonna have their favorite version now. Now it's gonna be, well, this is favorite for me. Oh, I like this one or I like that. But the thing is, it's gonna be more out there. And that's on the Macross. Macross's side is gonna be even more so out there than Harmony Gold stuff. It's just been stagnant until that movie comes out. What is it? If they don't have nothing, if they announce a director right now, they ain't gonna be ready for filming till next year. Simple as that. The writer's still on board, so that's
Well, how's Hollywood Productions right now? Are they still in a bit of a hiatus because of the current crisis involving COVID?
Warner Brothers went through a whole craze, but that what do you call it? Whole thing with what do you call it?
The Batman.
Batman is a wait and see. I don't know about that new Batman. I don't know. I'm not feeling the actor, Mr. Vampire guy with the
Oh, I know
sprinkles.
who you're talking about. Yeah.
What's wrong?
Yeah,
What's wrong with him? What?
I can't. I don't see him as Batman, but I gotta wait and see it and see if he plays the character very well. They went through a whole shakeup as well. Warner Brothers. They fired a lot of uh, executives after that DC fiasco with Justice League. Um, for movie wise, it's hard to tell. Look at Godzilla. Godzilla is probably opening eyes for everybody. Like, hey, we got to go back into the movie business, and that's where it's at right now. We got to see how everybody now starts building into it, and wait and see what happens with Robotech. But at least Jason Fuchs is still the writer. The producers are still there, so they might have to tweak now the script just because of his new contract. Maybe he's already doing it, and we'll see what happens. And bring on Kawamori for the what do you call it, the art side, for the mecha at least.
Hey, Lancer, your thoughts on the future with this breaking news? What do you think will be the future for both of these franchise and going forward? What do you think? What's your predictions of what's going to be next for Sony Pictures and Harmony Gold?
Like I said, I think we'll see something going on, something happening in a year.
Okay.
Probably about this time next year is when we're going to hear something.
Okay. Okay.
Because,
I want to use this moment to open up questioning from all those on chat. If you have any questions on chat to ask us about anything Robotech or even Macross related, be free to ask, and we'll answer your questions. So, does anyone have any questions for us? I'll give it a moment for them if they want to participate. And,
Yeah, it takes a couple of how do you say it, minutes to get through what do you call it, to the live people.
yeah.
But I think there are already questions there, right?
Let's see here. I have to go back on the original chat here.
Did we miss anything?
Let's see.
there was one question about bringing Macross 7 to the U.S. market with an English dub. Excuse me. I think we addressed that. There was another question someone had about let's see.
Yeah,
Well,
I
there
can see
might be a
Macross
question
7. Like I said, I
regarding.
can see.
Sorry, there might be a question regarding who's going to handle the merchandising aspect of the distribution. Like, does Harmony Gold still own the distribution rights to both Macross and Harmony Gold outside of Japan? Like, is it just means that Harmony Gold now handles the Macross side of things?
Well, according to the statement, it looks like the thing is still in place. It's almost only after the aftermarket of Macross that is able to come out. But in collaboration with Work Forward, I mean, they could talk to each other now. They're talking to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think a lot of things are going to come across the border now with now that Big West and Harmony Gold are talking now. What do you call it? There could be deals where things could cross over. So it's a wait and see.
Okay.
A lot of possibilities.
Okay. Let's see. I don't see.
Everybody could be right now. Everybody's opinion could be right
so
now.
Did McKeever stated when his show is going to be on tomorrow?
I think it was 7
7
at
p.m.
night,
Pacific.
but I don't know the time zones. I'm in Colorado time, which is Denver time.
Okay.
I'm on only 1 hour ahead of Lancer. Lancer, what time is it over there?
Right now, 2:41.
Okay. Oh, I think we
my
should use
time
this
is
opportunity to help promote Kevin's, announcement. I guess that'll be on Facebook.
He has it on Twitch, so I haven't been able to look at it. I participated on the first one, which was talk about the fandom. I haven't been on the second one because I couldn't find it.
Okay.
I was wondering if he was going to put a link to it on Robotech.com, and I just kind of forgot about it. And at first I couldn't find it, so I could save it, but he has to put it out there, like set it out there. And if it comes out tomorrow, I'll be watching or listening to it just to really feel what is said, what is going to be said about this new deal.
Okay.
People are going to have questions, and maybe he might not say nothing at all. So everything's still fresh. So there's still things to iron out. So we just got to wait and see. But it didn't take long for fans to react to this. It was right away. So.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing Macross products officially released outside, and for all of us to consume without having a sword dangling over our heads, feeling guilty about having Macross products here. So I think it's a good win-win for both. Robotech going into Japan and Macross coming out, and everyone's going to enjoy both properties the way they should be, because I don't think you should restrict a person's preference for what they would like to watch. And I think now is a good time to close up the show. And Memo, thank you for being on the show. Lancer, nice seeing you again. Hope to see you too soon, probably in the next show, probably sometime during the convention season. And is there anything you want to? Anyone have the last word before we close off?
Just wait and see. That's about it, guys. Let's wait and see what all this means. This new deal overrides everything, so I'm just waiting to see what happens.
Okay. Well, on behalf of myself, Maverick, and Memo and Lancer, we wish all the fans thank you for watching us. And if you like what you see, give us a like and subscribe. And we'll hope you see you next time on the next Robotech World podcast. And thanks once again. And Maverick LSC out.